what kind of problem you have noticed in the traditional way of diagnose and treating this disorder?
Right. Well, I myself have obstructive sleep apnea. I happen to be a physician, but I'm a patient, and I had to go through the journey of getting diagnosed and treated, and I had to experience all the pain points. I had to go to my primary care doctor and have an in person appointment and tell my primary about the problem that I was having. I then had to get referred to a sleep specialist. I had to wait for the first available appointment. I had to go in, pay another copay, um, and tell that sleep medicine doctor the same thing I told my primary. Then I was referred for an overnight sleep study in a laboratory. I had to get approval and prior authorization from my insurance company. I had to wait about 2 months between getting the approval and then getting on the schedule at a sleep lab. I then had to go in the sleep lab and go into the lab and try to sleep with all those wires on. And guess what? I slept enough to get the diagnosis of obstructive sleep apnea, which I already knew I had,
Mm.
but not enough for them to see if my machine was working properly at the right pressures. So they told me that I had to come back for another study to have what's called the titration study, which I refused because there are automated positive airway pressure machines, and you don't have to have a titration study. There are machines out there, as a matter of fact, the majority of the market that detects your airway resistance and then gives you the pressure you need. So you don't need anybody to set it for you. I then learned that the overnight sleep study cost $7,000 and my coinsurance put me on the hook for 10% of it. So I had to pay $700 plus the two copays before to have a study that was only partially helpful, to be told that I knew what I already had, and now 3 or 4 months had gone by.